All right guys, I'm really excited for this one. Today we're going to be installing our new muffler section on the Project E46 M3. This exhaust is the Top Speed Pro 1 with the polished tips. So this exhaust comes with various style tips. One is the polished tips, one is the titanium blue, and the other one is the tips are titanium blue, and it also has titanium blue lines. I believe there's one here and one here. I opted for the one that's all polished, just to keep it nice and clean. Although the titanium look I do like, I just feel like on a silver gray M3, it might not necessarily look the way that I'm trying to go for, but I think polished will do for this car. If the car was white or black or maybe a different color, I think titanium blue tips will look pretty nice, but on gray, I don't know, maybe it's nice, maybe not. You guys tell me which one you would have preferred for me to install on this car. But we're gonna get started, and I'm also going to weigh the difference between the new exhaust and the old exhaust. And as you can see, the old exhaust is really bulky and really heavy. So we're going to begin removing this bad boy right away. So it should be pretty straightforward. There's 4 bolts here, 1, and then 2 up there, and then 1, and then 1 more back there. So we're gonna need a wrench for that. I believe these are 13 millimeters. Then to remove the actual muffler section, we're gonna wanna get rid of this hanger here. So we're gonna remove those bolts. I believe those bolts are 12s. There's one there. I'm sorry, the nuts. And around one there, that's also another 12. And then on the other side, there's one in there. It might be kind of hard to see on the video. I can't tell if it's coming through. And then there's one more on the other side. So what a lot of people do is they actually remove this rear diffuser, and it makes reaching a bolt a lot easier, but I'm just gonna use a swivel and keep it easy. Keep it pretty straightforward. And then once that's off, all we have to do is we come over to the new exhaust and we transfer the hanger over to these new mounts. One right there and one right here. And then we bolt it back up. Should be pretty straightforward. Okay, so I'm gonna begin the install right now. And then you guys can hear a sound clip. Get started on removing these 4 bolts, and here's a little trick. What you can do is you can loosen this one, and then you can also loosen this one up here, and then this whole flange actually swivels, and so it'll give you more room up top. So what you have to use is loosen both of them, and then once you loosen it, you can move this, and that'll make reaching the top one a lot easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this side. Okay, here's another little trick. On this side, right here, typically this part is down here. So what I did was I loosened this up and I moved it so that bolt is easier to reach back there. Because there's not really a whole lot of clearance. But this way we have enough room, so we can go ahead and remove that one as well. Okay, so now we have these 2 flanges loose and disconnected. So now what we have to do is remove these hangers. So there's going to be 1 bolt here, sorry, 1 nut here, and 1 nut right there. So we also have this exhaust support up. So we recommend either having a friend hold it or also having one of these supports if you don't have one.
Boom. Got it.
Now, on this other side, we gotta take out those. So there's one hanger here and one hanger here. And there's 4 nuts total. All right, after a little bit of a struggle, the exhaust is out. Man, that thing is heavy. Okay, so there's that hanger, and then there's these hangers. One of the things that we needed to do in order to get the exhaust out, because if you'll notice, the pipe right here is longer than that pipe. So you actually have to slide this part out of the muffler. In order to move the muffler back far enough, you actually have to loosen this part and this part of the rear diffuser, and then it gives you enough room here where you can pull the muffler back enough to pull it out. So now it's all out. So before we reinstall the muffler, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this area nice and clean, because you can see it's like pretty dirty. 171,000 miles of gunk. So we're gonna clean this up before we install the new muffler, and we're gonna get started on that right now. So here you can see I removed the whole heat shield. It wasn't too difficult. There was probably, actually here they are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts. Sorry, 6 nuts. They all came out. And right here's the heat shield. It's pretty dirty. So I'm just gonna rinse it out, get it nice and clean, and then put it back before I reinstall the exhaust. And here's the heat shield after cleaning it. Much better. So now I'm just gonna reinstall this and then get the exhaust up there. All right, so what we have to do now is we have to move the factory exhaust hangers onto the new exhaust. So what we have to do is simply remove this 13mm bolt, and then once we take it off, we can move this whole exhaust hanger over to the new exhaust. So I just moved it over here. So you can see there's a nut and bolt that was on the factory exhaust. I simply brought it over to the new one. That's it. So now I just have to do the same thing on the other side. The exhaust hanger is on. One thing you'll notice is that on the new exhaust, at least this one, I'm not sure about others, but on this one there's only one hanger. So you'll see that this hanger right here is not going to be used. And so I just took it off of that one over here in the back. So we might have to do some adjusting on it once it's actually on the car. But right now I set up just like the factory one, where this side right here is longer than the side in the back. So hopefully that just bolts right up. And then here's this side over here, also with the long side in the front. Right here you can see that there's more of a gap than there is back here. So hopefully that fits with no problems. And we're gonna get it installed right now.
This is the factory axle back muffler. We're gonna wait for you guys right now. We got a little trigger happy. We installed a top speed version, so you can see it's a lot sleeker, it's a lot cleaner, it's a lot lighter than this big fellow over here. We were gonna wait, unfortunately. Like I said, we couldn't help ourselves, and now that it's up there, we don't really feel like taking it down, but we will get you the weight in a second. It's gonna be right there. Now, please don't laugh, it's been a long day, but I'm gonna try to drag this over and wave for you guys right now, okay? I'm just kidding, I got it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and weigh this sucker right here. All right, Alex, if you can show us the weight. Roughly about 64 pounds. Whew, that's heavy. It's a heavy boy. All right, so as you can see the comparison that we show, oh, almost hit my head again. If you guys are watching our other videos, you see that's a common thing.
New battery time. All right, so the battery died in our car, so I went to Costco, grabbed a new battery. So now we got to swap it out. Cover is removed. What we have to do is we have to remove that nut on the ground. We have to remove those 2 bolts, which I believe are 13s, and we have to remove the positive. And there should also be a vent tube here that we have to remove as well. All right, so yeah, it is a 13. So I'm going to remove this one. And then I have to remove this one as well. Alright, so now we just have to remove this 10 right here and that 10 right there. Okay, so here's a new battery. I reinstalled the vent tube. There's the old battery. So now the install is pretty easy. Just have to slide it back up, hook everything up, and you're done. Okay, so one thing which I noticed is that on the old battery that I had, the vent tube wasn't connected anywhere, and there was also another vent tube that was loose here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this vent tube right here and install this vent tube instead, so that way it actually does vent outside. Okay, so we are all done installing the new battery. Tighten down that, I tightened down that, I tightened down this so it holds the battery down and won't let it move. I installed the new vent tube, and so now it's properly vented. And I installed the ground, tightened down, installed the power, tightened down, and the battery works. So now we have stronger light than we did before. So now we can fire it up.